Callaway are back with a brand new line of drivers for 2026, and it's called the Quantum. Now there's 4 new heads and tons of technology to talk about, so let's not waste any time. Let's go hit some shots. I'll talk you through it and we'll decide whether it truly is a quantum leap for Callaway in performance for 2026. So speed is everything with this new driver. Callaway for the last few years have been focusing a lot on forgiveness and MOI, which has produced some drivers that go really straight and perform really well on miss hits. You know, there's lots of carbon in the head, they've got the AI face, and they really have been able to build drivers that perform. I think what they've want to do this time is sort of move back to what more we believe Callaway is and sort of what is on brand for Callaway, and that is, you know, really fast drivers. So we have a new design, we're back in that sort of modern and advanced technology look that we know Callaway bring. We have a brand new face, which is an industry first multi-material carbon face, which has some titanium, some poly mesh, which is an interesting new material, and some carbon, which basically is allowing the face to flex more, give us more energy, more ball speed, so that's exciting too. Now we have 4 different heads, so we have the Max, the Max D, a brand new Triple Diamond Max, and of course the Triple Diamond for you tall junkies out there. But the big thing with this driver is about ball speed, so we're going to go talk about the tech a bit more whilst I'm hitting, but be sure to stick around because the ball speed numbers I get on that Triple Diamond are really hot, really impressive, and I've really enjoyed using this driver. So we'll kick things off with the new Quantum Max driver. So this is like their core head, the sort of standard head where most people might end up. So Callaway have basically gone back to the drawing board with the new design of the Quantum. The Elite, although was a great looking driver, I really liked it. They thought it was actually a bit too traditional. So we're back to where Callaway belong in this sort of very modern, very sort of future forward design. So lots going on here. We have an adjustable weight near the face. We have this really nice adjustable weight to the back where we can make it draw and fade bias. And I really like that that's hidden away. The only way you can tell whether it's draw or fade is whether the red is on the draw or red is on the fade, which I think is really cool. And you know, this looks a lot more like a Callaway, if that makes sense to anybody. I quite like that top line. Grey frames just creates a nice separation between the crown and the face. I personally quite like the gloss head as a preference. I think it looks cool. And actually you feel like you can see quite a lot of the face with this behind the ball, so feels like I'm going to be able to hit it. A bit heely. 158 ball, not a bad start, a bit spinny, not a great strike. It's interesting that I always get necky when I start. Either the shaft is perfect and I flush it, or the shaft isn't right and I just neck it. Wow. Feels very solid off the face. 161 ball speed, 281 carry. Those are great numbers for a driver that I've literally just stuck the head on. I've not messed with the loft, I've not messed with the draw and fade. We are pretty well dialed in. Obviously what they've done with this driver is we have this brand new face. So we've got 3 layers. We've got a titanium layer, a poly mesh layer, and a carbon layer, which is the first time Callaway have managed to get all 3 of those things together. This driver is much more about speed and less about sort of forgiveness, which the last few years have been about. So what they've been able to do is make the titanium face thinner, because the titanium is reinforced by this poly mesh layer and the carbon layer, which means the titanium can be thinner. And because the titanium face is thinner, we can, when the ball hits the face can flex a bit more, and then we get the benefit of the poly mesh and the carbon, which ping the ball off a little bit faster. So we should see some pretty good ball speed numbers from this club. It's a bit high. 161, 287 carries, pretty good. Spin 2,200. Peak height there is massive, 140, so definitely too high. I'm thinking we might get a really long carry out of this. certainly at maybe the other drivers that we're going to get onto in a bit. But just in terms of performance, like that's performing really, really well. Certainly faster than a lot of the other drivers I've tested this year, and this isn't even the fastest of the 4 Callaway we've got in the Quantum, so that's exciting. I always find that the Callaway, it just feels so solid on the strike. It doesn't feel tinny, it feels like you're striking the ball with something really heavy, and that gives me confidence that A, I'm going to hit the ball a long way, but B, I'm not going to get bad shots on complete mishits. That I really like how solid it feels, so the Quantum Max gets a big green tick from me. We may as well touch on the Max D. This is Callaway's like most forgiving, most draw biased club. This is for your player who needs to get the ball up in the air quicker, needs to stop the ball slicing. It's cool that they're able to do that. We don't have an adjustable weight in the back because it's just preset draw. We still obviously have the adjustable loft sleeve where we can make it more or less draw bias, but yeah, we're still going to benefit from all this new tech in the face. I think Callaway do a great job with their draw drivers because I mean this thing looks like it's going to go left, so that's good. Not bad. 161 ball speed, 283 carry. That's the longest draw driver I've ever hit. Spin's still really good there. Now, Callaway are still using all of their supercomputers. They've invested so much money into that over the past few years that they're just able to create so many different models and so many different variations of the 3 layers in the face, where should the weight be, etc., that we still have that sort of thin AI face where the back is sort of very, thicker in different parts so that we get the consistent ball speed. But they're not talking about that quite as much this year because they're trying to move back into, what they're really good at, which is speed. That ball did go more left as well. That is way left. Fair play. 150, like so far offline left. Felt like the same swing. 160 ball speed, 265 carry. Spin dropped off a bit there, so maybe I mishit it a little bit, but that is a quality draw driver. Still pretty fast off the face, but definitely more of a focus on getting that ball going high and left, so that's great. Now, one of the most exciting things I think about the Quantum lineup is a completely new head. So we have what's called a Triple Diamond Max head, which has a lot of the same benefits of the Triple Diamond in terms of that low forward CG, but in a head that is probably just a touch more forgiving and just a little bit bigger at address, so that we don't feel like we have to hit it as hard as John Rahm to get any performance out of it. So I've got this in a 9-degree head. The weight is set on neutral. I'm just going to keep everything as is. So yeah, we have this new Triforce face design, which is 74% titanium, 12% polymesh, and then 14% carbon. And it actually says on here, on this sticker, that their supercomputer ran 59,280 unique face designs. And actually this face has had 2,270,509 impact simulations. So that's all those different, strike locations across the face to test, to make sure that the face is going to perform no matter where you hit it. So that should fill you with some confidence. Definitely more of a Triple Diamond look to this, and for those of you who've used one will know what I mean. We've lost the Odyssey chevron on the top line, and we still have the details on the back, but it's a very different shape compared to the Max and the Max D. It's a much smaller profile and just is a little bit cleaner, which I really like. Nice. Now, that wasn't a great hit. 158 ball speed, 28 spin, bit low on the face. Now, when I went to France with Callaway on their pre-launch press trip, we had some time to spend on the range, wellying drivers, which was great fun. This was the driver that I was sort of the most drawn to, because that Triple Diamond has always like freaked me out because it's quite small, and although very long, a little bit intimidating. And I actually was able to use this exact driver with the same shaft out on the course and drove the ball brilliantly. I've been excited to get delivery of this club because it is a driver that I've sort of considered, well, I wanted to do further testing with because I might put in the bag in play this year. Bit toey. 159 ball speed, 287 carry. 108 peak height. That would go an awful long way when it's firm and bouncy. Again, not out of the middle. I've not quite got that out of the meat yet, but 287 carry is pretty big for me. So many drivers this launch season have carried somewhere between 268 and 276. So to see something up near 290 is great. We're well optimized in terms of launch and spin. I just need that strike to get that ball speed. Yeah, there you go. 163 ball speed, 291 carry. It's very low spinning for me, this 1500, probably too low. So maybe I could just do with a bit more loft. But this is definitely hot. I've only hit 3 drivers this year so far that I've got near that 163, 164, 165, and this is one of them. I feel like that's gonna, not only is it carrying quite a long way for me, but because the spin's low, it's gonna go a long way when it hits the ground as well. So I might pick up some pretty good total distance with this driver. But let's get the triple diamond on and see how that performs. I do believe this Triple Diamond Max will probably be the most popular driver of the 3. It has that tall look of the Triple Diamond, but just a bit more forgiveness, which is probably exactly what someone like me needs. I'm into my gear. I like things that look tall, but probably not good enough to hit it. So the Triple Diamond Max is great. I think Callaway are going to pick up loads of players in this head. So the Triple Diamond, this thing, it's going to be fast. All Triple Diamonds have always been fast. It just feels like when you put this behind the ball, I feel like a good player. When I address it, it looks small. I actually think because it has a small profile, it makes the shaft feel quite long, but I love the shape. I love how compact it is. I mean, definitely one of the best looking drivers behind the ball. I think Callaway have done a great job with this black carbon on the sole as well as the crown. The matte carbon on the sole looks really cool, makes it feel really premium. And you know that the more carbon's in these drivers, the more they're moving weight around and the more precise they can locate it to have optimal performance. So all of that combined with the new Triforce face just means we're getting closer and closer to having like the most optimized driver possible. Right then, I would love a 300-yard carry. That would be unheard of for me, and I think this might do it if I get the right strike. For some reason, the face on this, we have a really noticeably deep face on this Triple Diamond, which I actually feel like the face is massive. So I sort of want to give it a good hit. Oh, gonna need some more loft, I think. Oh my goodness. 161 ball speed, 275 carry. I need to loft that up. Launched at 11, peak height 70. Not a chance. Is that the right setup for me? Just bear with me. I am not John Rahm. 6 foot, whatever he is, 100 and whatever kilos. I'm just I'm not even young. I'm just a small lad. I'm just an old, small guy. The ripe old age of 30, weighing in at 74.2 kilos. John's got 30 kilos on me. Come on. Looks better now, actually, with more loft. Feels more usable. Nice. 161 ball, 181 carry, 281 carry, sorry, 2-3 spin. Slightly low on the face, that, but felt really solid. Really enjoyed that strike. Almost felt like sometimes you hit shots and the ball feels really light, and that was exactly what that felt like. It wasn't 300, but it was pretty good. Hey look, if I did that all season, I'd be really happy. Love the way this looks. That profile is so good looking. again off the bottom. 162 ball, 182 carry, 2.2 spin. Again, such a good, feels solid. I know it's low on the face, but feels good. I think the 300, it's 10 kilos away that, I think. Mass moves mass, doesn't it? And there's not a lot of mass kicking around in the backhouse jeans. Oh! 164 ball speed, 294 carry. We're back in the realm of something crazy here. That was perfect. Low spin, 13-degree launch, 113 peak height. Right, I've got one more in me, I think. Very interesting from Callaway here. One swing, 300-yard carry. Be the one. .292 carry, 163 ball. So, low spin. Look, this driver is a lot more usable than it looks. I'm obviously keep going on about the small profile and the small head, but if you're looking for a low spin driver, then I don't think it gets any more low spin than the Triple Diamond. Callaway have always done their tour drivers really well, and that is absolutely no joke. The ball speed numbers there have been very impressive in that sort of mid to low 160s. Spin stayed low even on the low strikes, which is a credit to their AI face. Very, very good. And, you know, just look at that. It just looks really good. So I've enjoyed hitting those clubs. The Quantum is definitely it's not an evolution, it's a revolution. Completely different to the Elite. So I'm pleased about that. I've enjoyed using those. 4 heads for 4 different types of golfer, so something there for everybody. Let me know if you're going to go try it in the comments. Which head do you currently use? Which head do you think you want to try? That Triple Diamond Max, as I say, I think is going to fit a load of different players. And yeah, if you don't subscribe already, if you could please do. We have tons of new content coming out with all the new clubs this launch season, so if you could subscribe, that would be great.